Welcome. In the last episode, I set up the first two terraces of fields, and I planted stuff in the first terrace. I also did a lot of digging, so I'm well on my way toward having the first base of operations in this world, and I shared a bunch of thoughts and memories that I had. In no particular order or context. It's kind of like when your grandpa comes over to visit and you get him going, and next thing you know, you'll spend an hour hearing old stories, conspiracy theories, half-baked ideas, and a whole lot more. And some of it you'll hear more than once. Yep, that was me. However, this time it's going to be a little different, or at least it will be different in that I won't be just digging while I ramble on. No, this time I'm going mobile. My world map of the known world is still freakishly small. I guess it's slightly larger than the average community college in the US. So it's time to lace up my walking shoes and do some, walking. I'll be on the lookout for a bunch of different things, and I spelled out my shopping list in the last episode. But a lot of that stuff is kind of rare and or requires very special circumstances or biomes. So I doubt that I'll have much luck in getting anything off my list. However, there's still plenty of stuff that I don't have access to. So for the stuff that I can pick up and bring back here to farm, yeah, I want to find a bunch of that. For the stuff that I can't do that, I want to know where I can find it. And then when I do need it, or at least I have the space for it, I'll know where to find it. And with a little luck, I just may end up this episode with a proper suit of armor and maybe, just maybe, a full stack of decent food. Now I noticed that I have 11 string, and I need 12 string for making a new bed. 4 string will create a block of wool, and I need 3 blocks of wool to make a bed. Now, you have noticed that I do have a bed, but just as I did in Twin Spires, I need another bed so that if I do happen to stumble upon a village, I can plop down the extra bed so that the village can grow by 1 villager, and that will assuage my guilt just enough that I'll feel free to go through their chests and barrels and help myself. But as I noted, I am 1 string short, so I'll just have to hope and find some sheep on the way, and then I can make a bed. Since many villages actually keep sheep in the village or nearby, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. So now I'm already on the road, and just out of the homestead I found some oats. So I'm helping myself, since at the moment I have only 1 seed and it's planted, and it's taking its sweet time in maturing. So this will help speed things along, if I make it back alive. And so now we are headed eastwards toward the big rift where I got water to start my own infinite water source on the homestead. If I remember correctly, there were some fairly tall exposed stone walls, so there might be some mineral goodies to go harvest. And like any seasoned explorer that's not quite prepared to admit that they don't know exactly where they are, I'm headed to some high ground to take a look around and get my bearings. Oh, well, there's nothing particularly interesting or compelling in the immediate area, but I'm sure that will change as I push on. And this must be the little flooded rift I mentioned. Oh, or not. Okay, I have no bow and not even a complete suit of leather armor, so I think I'll tend to stay out of caves and rifts until I'm much better prepared. But hey, oats! Thank you very much. In Minecraft, I think I can speak for the vast majority of us when I say that we go walking through these worlds gathering natural foods and materials without blinking an eye. While in the real world, most of us don't spend much time going cross-country like this. And even when we do, we have no idea what plants, rocks, or other items we're actually looking at. And so if most of us were truly lost in the woods, we would either starve or eventually poison ourselves by eating something that looks edible but isn't. For example, here I found some coal. I know it's coal. You know it's coal. It is, in fact, coal. However, in the real world, I might find a bunch of coal rocks sitting out on the surface of the land, and frankly, I doubt I would know them from any other rock. And if I was actively seeking coal, I figure I might potentially spend a lot of time trying to light some black rocks on fire when in fact they're granite or something like that. Starting a fire from scratch is another one. Yeah, most of us can start the hibachi when we have a lighter and charcoal briquettes that are already soaked in lighter fluid, on which we add half a bottle more to get that satisfying whoosh and mini mushroom cloud that singes the eyebrows and the hair on our arms right down to the skin. Or so I would guess. Of course, nothing like that has ever happened to me. Okay, that's the rift I was talking about. But I apparently am on the opposite side of the rift from what I had originally planned. No biggie. I'll just follow the edge of the rift to the end where I entered before. It seemed pretty easy going then. And it is. Though I'm not seeing any super compelling mineral resources down here. Iron would be mighty welcome as this leather armor is starting to chafe. And I've noticed that once you start sweating in this stuff, it has a smell. Which is not too bad now, but I'm sure I'll feel otherwise in a day or two. But so far, all I found is some sodalite, which I have no experience with or knowledge of, and some moonstone, which I know only slightly more about, and apparently a bunch of pastel-colored salt. Now, the salt might be of particular use at some point, but I found literally dozens of cubic meters of salt, more than a human would ever need over the course of their entire lifespan. On the other hand, this is not a story about a single guy in a single house living off the land with his dog Buddy and sitting around the campfire at night playing his banjo. No. This is a story about the rise of a bustling steampunk metropolis, thrumming with the engines of commerce and industry. And so I'm sure that there is some kind of processing need for salt, and so this stuff may come in useful after all. But only once we get the whole industrial revolution actually revolving. And now I'm in a dark forest, and I just know that my favorite creatures in the world, and by favorite, I sarcastically mean those mobs that I despise with my whole heart and soul, are out here somewhere just waiting to sneak up behind me and instantly dig out a hole perfect for installing a hot tub. But in the meanwhile, I seem to be finding some of these gyro berries from the Vintage to Light mod. Now, with a name like Gyro, I would have thought that these came from one of the Create mod add-ons. But it came from Vintage Light, so they're probably what they appear to be. Just some random edible berries from which I can make some nutritionally useless or close to useless foods. Now that is a deep and probably incredibly profitable cave. Too bad. I'm not equipped to arm wrestle a chicken, much less travel through the deepest and darkest recesses of the earth looking for hidden treasures. In fact, on the superhero scale, we have Superman at one end and Clark Kent at the other, and I don't even merit a Clark Kent rating. In fact, I'm more like a Jimmy Olsen, or maybe half a Jimmy Olsen. But that will change. One day I will have awesome gear that's hardened and enchanted to the point where I can come toe to toe with the worst that this world can throw at me and come out on top without even scratching the paint on my gear. However, for now, I'm a guy camping out next to an open pit, running around with an incomplete set of stinking leather armor, and apparently just begging for something bigger, stronger, and meaner than him to come out and bounce him around like a rubber ball. Of course, I don't want that, but the facts are the facts, and the odds are definitely not in my favor. But then again, I've never been one for playing the odds, which is funny because lots of people have accused me of being odd, so you'd think I'd be great at it. Looks like this pit doesn't immediately drop to the Earth's core, so maybe there's some low-hanging mineral fruit I can pluck here. Copper. Is it just me, or did it get strangely quiet around here all of a sudden? No, it is indeed strangely quiet, and I'm not getting my copper, so it must be latency. Hello, latency, my old friend. I've come to speak with you again. Sweet, I'm back in business. And there is one of the classic Minecraft quandaries. Copper to the left of me, copper to the right of me, and an inventory full of copper, and very little of the stuff I need or want to do uses any copper. So I have the same story with Flint. Coal, on the other hand, is a very different animal. I can use that stuff in whatever quantity I find it. Back in Griffin Manor, I had found an infinite supply of coal thanks to the Create Ore excavation mod, and frankly, that was a pretty sweet deal. It was only slightly less sweet than the infinite iron sources I tapped into. However, this is a brand new world and a new version of Minecraft, and I know that the mod authors made changes to that mod, so I'm not so confident that I'll be able to find some juicy and convenient sources again in this world. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm still sleeping outdoors, so it'll be a while before I go prospecting for the motherlode of all motherlodes. That's all the easy to reach stuff. I'm sure there's a mineralogical treasure trove down there, but I'm barely protected against paper cuts, much less skeleton arrows and creeper blasts. So, as they say, discretion is the better part of valor, though they also say he who runs away lives to fight another day. But until I get at least a full suit of iron armor, it'll be more like he who runs away lives to run another day. It looks like this is a very good place for picking berries. Now, if it turns out that these gyro berries are even slightly better than sweet berries in terms of hunger and satiation, I think I'll be eating berries for the better part of a week. Kind of like that scene from Forrest Gump where Bubba lists all the different dishes you can make with shrimp. Oi, there's a light in the forest. Well, it's daytime, so of course there's light, but I'm talking about a lantern or something. Could be a village, could be something else. Most stuff you need to worry about is usually not particularly well lit, but you never know. But a skull and crossbones banner doesn't bode well for me. This looks like somebody's golem construction kit. It's all for show, but in hindsight, I have absolutely no idea how I plan to defend myself if that thing turned into a hostile golem. I mean, I was saved by my own dumb luck. There are lots of goodies in the forest. As a general rule, if it's something I can farm back at home, then I'll grab some seeds or whatever if I don't already have some in my inventory or back at the base. But if I already do, then most of the time I'll just leave the stuff alone. Like the emmer wheat I saw, which turns into just plain old regular wheat if you grab it. However, stuff that can be harvested without killing the plant, like all these gyro berries and grapes I keep finding, I don't mind grabbing those if I have space in the inventory and I'm not currently running for my life. Because the forest could be a dangerous place filled with such terrible perils as orange hamsters, apparently. This is a great place to find food. And hamsters. I hear a cow, but I don't see any. Marco! I guess cows probably don't know the rules to the old Marco Polo game. There you are. I see your feet. I guess they're technically hooves, but, you know, tomato, tomato. I keep trying to harvest these salmonberry bushes without killing the bushes themselves, but apparently the berries are not ripe yet, so I keep placing torches from my offhand instead. I don't remember whether I have salmonberries back of the pit, but I think I do, so there's no need to kill these bushes just for pips. But looky what I found, a village. And here I am without an extra bed to trade for free access to their chests and barrels. I'd give my bed, but I don't know if I'll find the bits to craft a new one before I get home, and I don't want to be cut out in the wild when the sun goes down. Maybe I can trade for some gyro berries or something, if they have something I can't live without. But like I said before, they probably have some sheep in the village, or at least nearby, and I can shear them and make a bed. So it'll work out all right. Interesting landscaping they have. At this point, I would normally be all excited at the prospect of gathering dripstone and pointed dripstone, but I can see from here that it's really just all salt. And that might come in handy at some point, but not nearly as handy as the dripstone. And normally I would expect to be hearing some sheep bleating by this point, so maybe my sheep has not come in after all. Yeah, the villager textures are looking decent, but I have yet to change the profession textures. And they add that stupid nose back in, so it's almost like the villagers are wearing those disguise glasses that have a nose and a mustache are already attached. I have no idea why they would want to disguise themselves while at work. But come to think of it, I can remember a few days where I would have been happy to go through my workday in disguise. Leather. Interesting. I think I may have stumbled upon the Minecraft version of Breaking Bad. These guys sure seem to have a lot of cauldrons, and they are brewing some weird stuff in most of them. I wonder if the cops know about this place. Tomato seeds. Nah, I gotta go back and get those seeds. But what would these guys appreciate? Nothing beats beets, so to speak. Yeah, I've seen these kinds of semi-ruined greenhouse tower thingies before, and they're usually filled with a whole lot of nothing. How in the world do you get into this place? The flower boxes are a giveaway. They must have had a mini landslide that covered the door. Magic book. But it's an enchantment for shields, and I'm just not much of a shield guy. Generally, a good defense is a smashing offense. And in those cases where offense isn't enough, I found that the best defense is to not be there when the arrows and weapons come crashing down on where I was standing a second before. Yep, instead of showing them my shield, I show them my heals. I can see on the old map that there's a pillager tower nearby. Now, I really hate those things. I mean, I don't mind the tower full of pillagers and rescuing golems and villagers and allays. What I do mind is that even if I tear the place down and want to put up a strip mall, I can't because the pillagers continue to spawn. So then I have to go in and do some tricky terraforming to keep those little jerks from spawning. So in short, I hate them because I feel compelled to cleanse the land of their presence, and that's just a bunch more work for me. Work that usually results in arrows sticking out of my armor, and since I'm wearing the armor equivalent of a tie-dye t-shirt, that's nothing I would want to attempt in the near future. And just in case you were curious, TBN is not intended to be a name or label. It's simply an acronym for to be named. Yeah, the question at this point is when and where do I start veering westward and start returning home on the other side of the known world? I think this is pretty much that point. Unless I fall into one of these gaping salt mines first. The birch forest is a nice change of pace from that old dark forest. Everything's so bright and green, and I'm not likely to run into anything dangerous. Or at least I'm dramatically less likely to find anything dangerous out here. Oh jeez, spoke too soon. Ouchie mama. Come and get me, you gray-faced slug. Score one for the tie-dye t-shirt. Yeah, note to self, don't comment on how calm, peaceful, and safe everything seems to be. You're likely to jinx it. End note. Yeah, it might be a good idea to make sure that I'm not headed in that stupid pillager compound. And I'm not. Holy smokes, that's a deep hole and a deep hole. I'll have to come back and explore the whole thing. I think this might be a sign. 700 blocks, huh? What's 700 blocks from here? Well, that looks like the very edge of a village. Very interesting. Well, obviously I'm not going to find everything in a single trip, especially not on this first trip, which will probably be fairly short because pocket space is still a bit limited. Woolly cows. Let's get some wool from them for the sheer fun of it. Or not. I guess they're not too keen on haircuts. I certainly wasn't when I was a kid, but that's because my dad cut my hair and he had all the grace and subtlety of a jungle explorer, hacking through the jungle with a machete, and it felt like that sometimes too. I learned to like haircuts again once I was in the Air Force because the barber on base did the whole shebang, right? The haircut, shave, tonic, hot towel. It was nice to be pampered. But when I was a civilian again, I found that the local hair salon would wash and dry my hair with a scalp massage in the process, and then a proper haircut, both gentle and pleasant. And man, I loved getting my hair cut at that point. I even went when my hair was not particularly long. They say that cutting your hair too often can lead to it falling out. Now, I'm pretty sure it's a matter of nature and genes, but going to the salon as much as I did sure didn't help. Speaking of not helping, I don't think that green dude clearing his throat is coming over here to ask me directions. Burn, baby, burn. Anytime now. Finally. Not me, you idiot. Well, gee, thanks, pal. My sweaty and sneaky leather armor's now scorched as well. If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the... Yeah, if you can't stand the heat, stay in the cave. Ooh, majestic redwoods. Yeah, this looks like a good spot for a Kodak moment. Break time's over. It looks like I'll go almost straight west from here. Okay, it looks like we have a couple of ferrets in timeout. I have no idea what they did or what they could have done. Maybe they refused to exercise on their wheel. I'm sure you've heard of a hamster wheel. Well, these guys would need to use a ferret's wheel. Sorry, that was too much. Oh, time to make a wish. I wish there was something interesting in this well. Well, hopefully that little dip helped rinse away the sweat, grime, and soot from the past half hour. But now I'm dripping everywhere. Well, that looks interesting. I hope it's uninhabited. Huh. Another village. And right on the water. Oh, let's check out this local tower. I will record what goes on there, and then if I ever have any questions about what happened, I could just go to Tower Records. Sorry. You probably need a gray hair or two to get that one. Hello? Anyone home? Knock, knock. Hello? Oh, didn't they have one of these in the Austin Powers movies? Oh, beehive. I should send that one to Michael Myers. Yeah, of course. Now I find an extra bed. Sweet! Some honey. My spidey sense tells me that the beehive was not just for show. Ooh, an actual metal store-bought bucket with water included. I'm certainly living large now. Now that's what I'm talking about. Bingo. Too bad you can't wear buckets as armor. But now I have missile weapons. Oh yeah. Though my arrow supply is pretty limited at the moment. But now I can reach out and touch somebody without getting touched back. So nice! And apparently my buckets are overflowing. Or to be more precise, I'm overflowing with buckets. I think that'll come in handy later. Yeah, now might be a good time to build a boat. Huh, I thought these were oak logs. Guess not. Well, why not? I forgot to bring a crafting table anyway. Huh, another tower. Yeah, I'm not going back this trip. All right, everybody, sing along. Row, row, row your boat gently down the sea. Oh no, no way. The tie-dye t-shirt is 1 for 1 today, and I think that was pure luck. I'm not going to push it just yet. But this abandoned church over here, now that's definitely more my speed at the moment. Sweet! I was just thinking about that line from the movie Spaceballs. Take just what you need to survive. In Minecraft, that's pretty much everything that's not nailed down, and quite a bit that actually is nailed down. Ooh, nice knockers. And let this be a lesson, boys and girls. Always go to church. There was a time, a long, long time ago, but not in a galaxy far, far away, when my parents sent us to Sunday school at this big mega church, before we really called them that. And the bus would come and pick us up and drive us 20 or so miles toward Los Angeles. And then we would be in Sunday school all morning, and then we would sit on the bus for the ride back home. Now, we only did it for a month or two, but the reason this all sticks in my mind, besides the fact that I was just in a church, was that they essentially bribed us to go and even pay attention at this particular Sunday school by giving us all sorts of candy and junky little toys. And man, I love those junky little toys. I mean, I had a couple of A-list toys that I still miss, but the most of the toys that I really miss the most are those junky little toys you would find at the swap meet or like the toy aisle in the drugstore. That stuff was awesome and cheap. Probably why I had easy access to it. Man, pretty much anything sticking out of the water here is worth checking out. Oh, no, you don't. Yeah, I probably should have gotten out of the boat first. Ooh, a helmet. And a free grindstone. Well, what do you know? It fits. What are the odds? I'll probably come back and make a more thorough search at some other time. In the meanwhile, I want to go check out that ruined Nether portal. Crying Obsidian is the name of the game, though I don't yet have a way to safely mine it at the moment, but that's coming. Ghost peppers? Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'll take them, but only because this is a game. But when it comes to hot and spicy, you are listening to what is probably the world's least tolerant individual to spicy food. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the flavor of spicy food, but man, it does not like me. And my tolerance for the heat is pretty much zero, and I mean zero. I mean, ketchup is my preferred hot sauce. When I go to a restaurant that serves spicy food and they ask me how many stars do I want, I tell him 0. In fact, I ask him if negative stars count. Yeah, it's true. Look up gringo in the dictionary and you'll see my picture next to the definition. Now, I have no idea where it comes from. My mom is probably average when it comes to spicy food tolerance, and my dad liked a little spicy heat in his food, especially his homemade chili, which would set the inside of my mouth and stomach on fire. And one of my daughters actually likes hot and spicy food as well. So I guess it's not a genetics thing, but now you know what not to get me for my birthday. But I'll tell you what I do like, though. Seafood, especially crabs. I would probably stop here for a while to harvest a mess of crabs, but the old inventory is just about full, and I will already be in treasure triage mode as it is. Speaking of seafood and my birthday, one of my favorite things to do on my birthday is to go to one of those seafood boil places where they boil up a big pot of seafood, including crab, mussels, clams, and even little ears of corn. And then they dump the whole thing on your table, and then you're off to the races, smashing shells and eating seafood like some half-starved Neanderthal. For starters, it's kind of fun to throw proper table etiquette out the door and just let loose. For another, it's one of the few times I can actually get enough seafood at a single go. Moss blocks, which can be useful for making dirt if and when it comes down to it. Ooh, zinc! I need zinc for the crate mod, but it requires at least an iron pickaxe, and I don't have one yet. But I might have enough iron on hand to make one. Or not. It seems there's quite a few blocks out here from blocks you need. These are new blocks, or at least they're new to me blocks, though exactly why I will need them remains to be seen. Lettuce. Let us see if we get any seeds. Negative, Ghost Rider, the pattern's full. Man, I could potentially be out here island hopping forever. Is this one some kind of shelter or tent? Ooh, no, it's much better than that. It looks like I might soon trade in my smelly leather armor after all. Oh, I did get some lettuce seeds as well. At this rate, I might need to spend most of the next episode processing and planting all this stuff before I can start digging again. It's not exactly what I had planned or wanted, but it's not a bad thing. I think it would be best to take a more direct route home and make less, if any, stops. I can always come back, hopefully with upgraded backpacks to pick up all the stuff I had to leave behind, and then hit the new spots where goodies might be hiding. Oh, look, a sugarcane drive-thru. I'd like a large order of sugarcane to go, please. Speaking of sugarcane, that batch seems to be taller than normal regulation sugarcane. That's a nice little village, but I'll give it a miss this time around and catch it next time. Apparently I have quite a few places to stop next time around. Village TBN, not to be confused with the last village at TBN. There might be a few more before I get home. That looks like actual open sea, but such a thing doesn't really exist in Minecraft. And I do have distant horizons, but I suspect that the system just hasn't gotten around to generating and loading those bits yet. I was going to say something about there being far fewer islands over here, but now it looks like they're generating in after all. Huh, I don't think that's an island either. I sure hope I don't get shot by a duck hunter over here. Whoa, land ho! And another ruined nether gate. If I can get the diamonds so that I can get a diamond pickaxe, I think I'll have enough crying obsidian to make an enchanting table and immediately upgrade it into an enchantment infuser, which takes all that crazy randomness and grinding out of the enchanting biz. Meanwhile, this looks like some kind of meteorite and an impact crater. Interesting. Wowzers! Ka-ching! Okay, we're moving along. We're rowing, we're rowing. And we're stopping. Well, I'm almost home, so I guess this is the race to the finish. I guess it's a good thing I don't get claustrophobic, otherwise I would probably be freaking out in this stuff. It looks like there's a small building with what appears to be a copper roof due south of my position. So it's on the way, so I'll check it out. Either I'm ridiculously hungry, or I hit a disruption in the fabric of time-space, or this is latency again. My money's on the third one. Okay, I'm back in normal time-space now. You remember what I said in earlier episodes about it raining at the end of each episode? Yeah, that looks like a mausoleum or crypt or some other kind of spooky but potentially profitable and dangerous place. So I'll add it to the list for next time. Well, that looks like a good sign. Huh, another meteor strike. Interesting. I assume this is a world generation thing and not something I'll need to worry about happening in the future. Whoa, I'm almost on top of another village. So where's the sign pointing? Told ya, another village, TBN. Okay, dark oak forest, sunset, rainstorm. I need to keep moving or else I will have plenty of unwanted company. Yeah, I can hear skeletons clattering below. Well, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but at the moment I'm actually happy to be in the middle of all this high grass. Home again, jiggity jig. Yeah, I know. I'm planting flax in the oats field, but flax is my string and wool supply for now, so I need to get it going. I'll move it to its own field after the harvest. Okay, I need a moment to sort all this stuff out. Oh, it's getting mighty dark out there. I better camp out for the night. Nice. Apparently overnight I learned how to draw a house using chalk. If they really want to impress me, they can teach me how to fly a helicopter overnight. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I got the armor, but this is, or will be, a steampunky world, so running around in plate armor is decidedly not cricket. So we will wear the armor, but just hide it, because I want to look good and appropriate, but I'm not a complete moron. I don't want to die when a nearby squid sneezes. But it is still very early game, and I have no cows, so as stinky and sweaty and scorched as this leather armor is, I need to salvage what I can from it. Well, I can put the rest of this stuff away by myself. I'm sure you have other stuff to do. However, I want to thank you for joining me on this little hike. I covered a lot of ground. Literally. I didn't do a lick of housework, but I have new crops, a proper set of armor, a shiny new-ish bow, and a whole set of shiny metal buckets. It's been a good run, and I know where to go back and get the known goodies I left behind, and some interesting places to stop and see what surprise goodies may be waiting for me there. So until that time, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and a touch of good fortune. Cheers.